Ba, 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 da, ba, ba, ba. Right, we're on. Hello, chat. Let's get a few of you in. We've got a special guest tonight. Where are we running through? Are we all good? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? I tell hello, mate. Chris, hello, mate. So, we do have a special guest on today. His name is Jimbo Django Jones, otherwise known as Jim. He goes by the YouTube name Marlow's Independent Trading Co. Link is in the description. Don't forget to give him a follow. Global's in the house. And here we have Jim.
Hello. Hi. How's everyone doing? You all right?
How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming on, mate. We've got a few people in the chat already. I was saying a few hellos, but let's crack on now. You're here. We've got Gary's in. Hello, Gary. Aaron's in. Global Thrifters.
No, never heard of them.
Probably a new channel. Hello, Leanne. How you doing? Reselling Dad's in. Who else we got going on here? There's a few people in the chat at the minute. So, Jim, introduce yourself quickly, mate. Keep it sweet, because I've got a few questions for you.
Yeah, all right. Gonna get the grill in. Yeah, so my name's Jim. I'm obviously a reseller based in the UK, part-time, running Instagram, and obviously just kicked off on YouTube as well. I've got a few videos over on my channel, but yeah, part-time reseller, mainly specialize in electronics, but I can lose money buying and selling anything, so I'll have a go at most things actually. But yeah, so that's me.
That's the pinnacle of it all, losing money on anything. Hopefully, we always try and make money, don't we? Of course, but there is a lot of sinkers in this business.
Yeah, I think you've got to learn by having a go, haven't you? I think as long as your kind of punts are low frequency and they're low risk, right? You're not spending all your bankroll on one big guess. Why not? You know, I probably.
Mate. You've taken every last penny I had, mate. You have. The guests. Tonight's stream is sponsored by Jack Daniels, by the way.
And beer, just generic beer as well.
Generic beer. So then, Jimbo, for anybody who definitely doesn't know you, which they should do, Jim's Instagram account for real is popping off. You come onto Instagram. Hi, Laney. You come onto YouTube how long ago now?
Only about a month, probably like 5 weeks. But yeah, I've been on Instagram since December.
Yeah, you've been on there for, yeah.
And I'm so rubbish at Instagram. Like, I see all these other resellers doing like amazing stories and stuff, and all these. I don't know how to do that. All these stickers. I figured out how to do that like 3 weeks ago, and but I think my Instagram's really good actually. I think I've got a really engaging, and I'm always posting on Instagram. I think I've got a decent Instagram account as resellers go.
Yeah, you really do. And that's where I found you first, was Instagram, and then obviously you transitioned over and into YouTube about a month ago, I believe. And your Instagram really is good. It really is good. And if you can put the same into YouTube, which you are doing, obviously everyone I've spoken to about you have all said how well you come across. So about time to start getting you out there, Jimbo. Start getting you on some channels, start doing some features, because you deserve it. So at the minute you're on 107 subs. The whole idea, I want to get Jim onto, let's say, a nice modest 120.
Minimum of 1,000 by the end of the stream. If not, absolute fail. It's never happening again.
This is the thing.
Shut down his channel.
It's gone. If you don't get at least 1,000, I'm shutting this down. That's the thing about Jimbo. Jim, you have a great personality, and your comedic values are high, and I appreciate them, especially the cut and dryness of them all.
When you look like this, mate, you've got to have something going for you, haven't you? So it's cool.
Jim. So other than looking like that, however you want to go. LB's in the house. Other than looking like that, Jim, what did you do before you was reselling?
So
you're part-time now, aren't you? So
yeah.
What are you doing alongside reselling then? I have to remember that's full-time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually manage commercial properties for a big Canadian technology firm. Yeah, so we've got about 80, maybe like 100 offices around the world, and basically I look after all the offices in UK, Ireland, France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, and South Africa, and just make sure they're up and running, and all the employees in there are have a place that's obviously safe with COVID, so it's quite an intense job actually.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you got that going on for you now, haven't you, as well?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do, and I was thinking about giving that up.
What, your full-time job or your reselling?
No, my full-time job, and that's kind of what kind of got me into reselling a little bit actually. But because I used to commute into London and do that, it's about a 4-hour, 5-hour commute for me, and then was looking for something, maybe take a bit of a kind of back step in my career. Because I've just had a baby, or I've got a 1-year-old baby, so I was looking for something to do to kind of supplement my income. And then on my massive commutes into London, I was like watching YouTube on the train the whole time down. And then you know how like you're watching something you want to watch, and before you know it, you're watching like a cat riding a motorcycle or something like stupid.
It's the rabbit holes of YouTube, mate. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And so I was watching whatever I was watching, and then I stumbled across a guy called Joe is reselling for pennies, and fell down the rabbit hole. Before I knew it, I was just consuming so much reselling stuff, and I was like, yeah, all right, we'll have a go at this. And that was, the rest is history, I suppose. I
think in a weird way, so that's how a lot of resellers begin. Not always. You watch things and think, oh, I'm going to try that. So when did you start reselling, Jim? When did you begin your adventure?
So I think I sold my first item like beginning of October last year. No, beginning of September. Yeah, I basically started by finding some of the stuff I had. I sold some of my watches and just like
great way to start.
List them all on auctions. They all like made really bad money. They should have earned a lot more. The listings were like rubbish. It was like one photo each of the front of it. It was like the worst thing I've ever done. But I made about 200-300 quid, and then was like, right, I'm just going to use this as my fund. And from there, it's gone bananas. Like this year has been so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's another reason to go and follow Jim's Instagram account. Is you do update your sales there, don't you? It's nice to see what you sell and the fact that you show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the reason I do Instagram is just to be as accountable as possible for everyone, and likewise for YouTube. It's not really a fame thing. Like I'm not thinking that I'm going to be the next big like influencer, right? I've got like 800 followers or something, but I love the accountability. Yeah, right. But I love the accountability of Instagram, because every week I put out my 90-day total. I show my sales. I show what I'm buying, wins or lose. Even when I lose money, I'm showing it. And I think every week, because I'm part-time, I have the option just to do nothing and just turn eBay off and not care about it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, I owe it to those people that are like, and I know that on Monday I'm going to have to post my 90-day total.
Yeah,
they're all going to see it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Laney started off. Laney has subbed to the channel. Gary has also subbed to the channel.
Appreciate it.
Emily somehow wasn't subbed. I wonder if my lad hadn't subbed me by mistake. Rectified. So either way, you have another sub there. We want to get you to 120 by the end of the stream at least.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. Anything, like if there's one more, it's successful.
Yeah,
even if you unsub straight afterwards, I'll still consider it.
Ricky, where do you buy the box of Pokemon cards? Paul, all of us use the same guy. We use one guy called Vinny over at Mad for Miniatures. You can find him by searching Mr. G Reseller UK on YouTube and on Instagram. Hit him up. He will find you the deals. He will sell you the Pokemon cards for the right thing. And that's where we go. I haven't got a business card. Normally I would, but just insert business card here. Perfect. Thank you ever so much. So you've got a few on there. Sam smells stuff is in the house. Sam, just leave. There's only enough room for one in there.
Yeah, it's all right. If we band together, we'll take over the world, right?
So you're on 110 now, apparently, which is fantastic. Jim's got the best logo, lovely jubbly. He really does. If you check his intro out as well, his intro is fantastic. Some good work's going on there.
Thank you. Yeah, I've done a lot of work on my branding, and
you have,
because I'm part time. I don't really need the income I get from reselling. So I try and invest almost everything I have in the business. In fact, basically everything goes back into the business. And I wanted to invest a load in the branding, basically making like the Instagram. I do a load of giveaways and all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to position myself for long-term growth rather than just take money out of the business as profit now and
that's
stuff, a bit more. I just really try and invest and kind of make my shop and position myself as someone who's going to be really good in the future. Because if I do go full time, I'm established. I've got like a really cool brand. I think
you're ready. You are ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, doing this job, I know obviously you're only doing it part time, but is there anything? Is there anything once you got your teeth into it that surprised you most about the reselling world? Anything that made you go, oh, okay.
I think, undoubtedly the reselling community, it has been the biggest surprise. So when I first got into reselling, absolute novice, I just like watched a few YouTube videos. I bought like a few rubbish bits, and naturally went onto Facebook. I don't really use Facebook a lot personally, and found a few groups. And no offense to anyone who's in them or runs them, but I found them to be quite toxic environments. And I was like, this is
why John created Happy Days Reselling.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there was a lot of what I expected. People are very competitive because at the end of the day, me and you, right, we're each other's competition. You want to sell something and so do I. And we might not necessarily sell the same things, but we're fighting for the same custom. And it's kind of what I expected. But then shortly after, everyone else, I left all the groups, and everyone else I run into, all these YouTubers, yourself included. I'm part of a WhatsApp group called the Hustler Tears that I joined. And like there's 3 founding members, and they've just like taken me under their wing, and it's just been like an unbelievable ride. And I'm like, what? I keep thinking to myself every day, why are you telling me this stuff? Because I'm now your direct competition. It's madness. But
I think this community especially is very, very sharing. I mean, a lot of us will all tell people these things and give each other tips and advice, because there is plenty to go around. And the community that I'm involved in, and obviously yourself included especially, obviously you're involved in loads of others, but the one I'm talking about is like the Happy Days kind of group and the YouTube community around here. We are all very open and willing to help and give and supply and work things through. And there's no, like you say, so some of the groups, which I've seen, there is things like you ask a question, they go, well, find out yourself, mate. Check solds. Like, it's like, hang on a minute, everyone's just helping each other. And that's exactly what's happening. And I really like this community. So that is, I agree. That was quite a shock as well, to be fair.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's amazing to see. It like really puts your faith back into humanity and the stuff that I've learned. I mean, my first like 6 months, I was just like durdling around. I was like lost. I wasn't really doing a lot. And then when I joined this WhatsApp group, my life has just changed. My sales just went banana to the point where I wasn't keeping up. And every day I was like messaging the guys on this WhatsApp group, like, what am I going to do with this item? I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm at a car boot. I've seen this. What am I doing? And they're just always like, I wake up to like 100 messages from this group.
Easy.
They're always on it.
Is that an open WhatsApp group or is it a private one?
Yeah, so it's kind of semi-open. Basically, I think I don't want to speak for it because I'm not like really part of the administration, but started by 3 amazing resellers. So there's a guy called Terry, Untitled Resells. There's Craig, Craigie Boy Flips, and there's Scott, who's
I think was in the chat, wasn't he, a minute ago?
Yeah, I'm sure he's in. Yeah, and like just the three guys are like like the 3 wise men. It's ridiculous, and just like every question answered. It's just like,
hit us up. I want to get part of this chat.
Yeah, so I reach out to one of those guys. The idea is that it's about like a community that if you put stuff in, you can take it out, and if you contribute the knowledge you have, and I try and do it with the very little knowledge I have, then you're welcome to be part of it. So I think if anyone needs that kind of community, like reach out to one of them, because the more the merrier. If you're going to help each other out, community feel, then absolutely like get on board. Like and particularly if you're a good reseller, because I need a lot of help basically. So
mate, we're all learning. Definitely. So in those 6 months, Jim, what's been your biggest win?
My biggest sale, biggest sale win.
Your biggest win doesn't even need to be whatever you classify as your biggest win is your biggest win.
I mean, let's talk about my biggest sale first, right? My biggest sale, I bought an organ for £75.
A liver, a lung, a heart?
No, it was. Oh, come on, get out of it! Get out of it! I was thinking, here we go. We're on a serious. The people want to know the serious questions. All I'm getting is James.
Oh, trust me, look, especially Claire. Claire's here for the jokes, Jim, mate. So.
She wants to good
okay, no, sorry. Tell us your biggest sale. It was an organ.
Yeah, it was some. Oh, I think it was. I don't really know what it was. Some kind of musical instrument. It looked a bit like piano-y, but it wasn't really a piano. I bought it for 75 quid and I sold it within 24 hours for 450 and 50 postage. And yeah, it was about like 4 months in, and it was at that time you must have gone through it where your other half is going, why are you bringing home boxes of old junk, and why is it on the dining table, like when I'm trying to cook dinner and all this, and then you have that one moment where you go, show her the phone and go, I've just made 500 quid, like have a word, like I'm going to take you out somewhere nice and I don't want to hear anything else about it. And then since that,
KFC, here we come.
yeah, you can have anything you want, darling. You can pick whatever bargain bucket
you can have some gravy if you want it. It's all yours.
Yeah, you've got to treat them nice.
That's a really, really, really nice win, that is, Jim. So while we're talking of wins, I want to know your biggest fail, and I want to know if you learned from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like at least once a month, if not once a week. I don't.
What sticks out to you the most? What's that kind of like? Oh gosh, and you can't. Sometimes you go to bed, you go to sleep, you put your ASMR on in your headphones, you just start drifting off, and then the thought comes back in your head, and you're like, ugh. What is it?
I don't really dwell on any of them. They're all learning opportunities, and they go straight away. And
You're a bigger man than I am.
Yeah, I just, you can't control it. It's happened. It's been and gone. I think as long as you don't make the same mistake again, you're absolutely.
But you're saying you do learn. So whatever they are, you just take them on the chin.
Yeah, absolutely,
learn from them and move on.
That's the way you have to do it. You only learn by mistakes. I act the same way in my professional life, and I teach my team members the same thing. Like, I don't care how often or how big you mess up. Learn from it. Try and keep the amount you're messing up quite small. So most of the time when I mess up, it's small because it's stuff that I don't know about. I try and keep really risk low because I don't have a huge amount of money to play with. So normally when I lose, I've probably lost like 30 quid maybe. The biggest amount I've ever lost. I think the biggest, most annoying one that I had, and this is really early on, was I bought a pair of basketball trainers, and they were, I think, Reebok Shacknosis or something. I know nothing about trainers. And it was like, I was like, Jordans do well. These look ridiculous. They were selling for like 90 on eBay. I was like, I'll have a bit of that. Picked them up from the guy. I was like, yeah, they look a bit like the ones on my phone. Then I sent them to Spain, and they never arrived. They came back to me about 3 weeks later. And I said, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm going to send them to you again. And they sent the guy these trainers again. It was 15 quid that I spent to send them again, like Royal Mail, International, tracked and signed. And then when they got there, he was like, yeah, these are fake straight away. I want a full refund. So actually that probably cost me like 60 quid. And I learned, you don't go into this like half-assed. You need to know what you're talking about. This isn't a game for guessing.
No.
You need to do your research, and I was a bit lazy about it. It's not money that's changed my life, but now I research every item. I only make sure bets. I'm not a punter.
But that's where the learning comes into play. You've made the mistake, or however you want to look at it, and you've learned from it. And now you know next time you'll be more vigilant with your check-in, etc., etc. So that's a good thing. Obviously, that's part of it.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Is there anybody regarding reselling that's been quite influential to yourself? It doesn't have to be anybody in particular, anybody here. Would you say it's, or it doesn't even have to be a reseller, but anybody who's been quite influential to you yourself, like a bit of inspiration? Could be your family members.
Yeah, definitely not them. Not met them, have you? They're not watching. They don't know how to work YouTube. Don't worry. You'll never watch it, Mum.
We have Jim's mum coming into chat. Bear me a second. Let me just add her in.
I thought she's around your house today, Ricky. Do not watch this. Do not watch this. So just so many different resellers. Like I was kind of expecting the who's your favorite reseller question.
No, I'm not going to ask who's your favorite reseller.
Right,
I'm not generally. I do have a question for you later.
The same old with them, isn't it? I've got so many favorite resellers, and I find myself like I've got so many like people that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. I can't watch them all. I try and do as much as I can and support some great resellers, because there's just so many brilliant resellers out there who are putting out content, and I find that I watch different people for different reasons, and it really depends what I need at the time. So I've got people like that global thrifters, I love watching because their knowledge is ridiculous. The breadth of the knowledge they have and the stuff they buy. Like, you know, when you watch car boot footage and you're watching them go around and you see an item and that's the item thing. If I saw that, I'd laugh at it. And then you just see a handout and pick that exact thing up and they're like, yeah, I bought this for a tenner. It's worth £100. And my mind is like exploding. The
Jack and Emily all over. Jack's one of these. Jack sees a table of 20 things, gets 15 and goes, well, how much?
Yeah, and they're all absolute bangers, and I'm sitting there and I'd look at it and like laugh and walk off to like the other the table next door. It's the knowledge they have is built up at their age is amazing. If
they're surprising, Jack's 37 and Emily's 29.
Yeah, I mean he's had a hard life. No, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to just like rib on you. It's just
especially for their age, the sort of knowledge and things that they pick up.
Well, I mean, like, it's the kind of stuff if you ever watch, like, you get stuck at home and you're watching like antiques sale, I don't know what these shows are, antiques roadshow things, and they just like find some like brass fire guard or something, and like there's like 3 people in the world who know about those things. And it's like, we sold 10 of these. It's amazing.
Not good enough, Cola.
I mean, and actually, like, Lee, Cola Flipper, is again someone whose knowledge and just intelligence about the process of reselling is ridiculous. Love his work. There's people that I think are really motivational and just their energy. So like Master of Pieces, I don't sell a lot of the stuff he sells, but his just energy is so uplifting. If I need to just like have a bit of a boot up my rear end, right, I'm straight onto his, and he's just on it. I think you're the same, really high energy videos, and there's people that like George Ross I really like because he sells a lot of the kind of things I sell. So I sub a lot of people, and it depends what I need at the time to what kind of motivation I need. So I don't want to keep banging on about the reselling community because
that's right. Good. I mean, I'm not going to badger you about it.
Yeah.
So we've asked you about that. One of the things. So if there's somebody wanting to get into this career, this sort of line, similar to ours, regarding the full-time and part-time thing, what advice would you give them? Would you say, chill out, see it go through? What level would you say? Because I know you haven't gone full-time yet. So let's change the question.
Yeah.
What is your parameter for when you decide that you want to go full-time, which is where other people may want to as well? What advice would you give? What are you working towards?
I'd say think about it really, really carefully before you do it. And even if, I think for some people, they see full-time as like the goal, and that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
No.
It doesn't make you a better reseller for it. Like me personally, I really like the comfort of full-time employment. Actually, I get my sick days paid, pension contributions, all of this. Quite enjoy it. The fact that I can take a 2-week holiday and still take a wage actually is really quite.
And you haven't got to worry too much.
Exactly. If I want to take a rock into work with a massive stinking hangover, i.e. every Monday morning, I can do it, and I'm not doing any worse for it. So
Sunday drinker, are you?
Every day of the week.
I'm every day drinking.
That's one example of the days that I'll come in hungover. I think I don't necessarily think that full-time reselling, it should be the goal for everyone. I think you need to go into reselling considering what you want to get out of it. I think what I would recommend, and I don't want to just plug my own channel here, but I'm doing a
crack on, mate. Links in the description, everybody, by the way. Make sure we get him some subs up.
So I'm doing a series on my channel of videos based on beginner resellers, and I think the full-time debate is something that is really, really complex, and you need to consider it yourself. And I really admire people who do it full-time, but I think it's not for everyone. I think you might overwork. I know if I was full-time, I would probably do too much work and neglect my work-life balance because I really enjoy money, and I think I'd be sitting there thinking, if I do another couple of hours, if I stay a little bit later in the unit or whatever, I'm going to earn a few more quid. Let's just put in the extra hours. So I think you have to weigh up the pros and cons, and what whether it's for you or not. So I'm not going to say never. And as I've said before, I want to build my business for long-term growth. So if it does happen, if my job got made redundant or whatever, it'd be good to be in a position to transition into it if I needed to. But my thoughts are at the moment that it's probably not something I'd love to do.
Well, like I say, you're building towards having a kind of backfall, worst case scenario. If something was to happen to you tomorrow, to your job,
Yeah.
you have this part-time, which you do have something there that you can then give your full attention to should you need to. So it's not just a part-time income now, it is potentially a bit of a backfall as well in case something was to happen.
Of course.
Which is what happened to me. I was a barber and then all this happened and it wasn't very great. So I fell back onto it full-time and this is me now. I've got grayer and grayer every day.
Yeah, but it's very well styled, you know, you'd expect it. Yeah, I think it's about, I think life's about constantly bettering yourself, challenging yourself. And like the whole reselling adventure for me has added so many skills to my skill set, like the accounting side, like the HMRC. Running your own business is a real challenge. Like the art of buying and selling, the human connection side of it. And even if you give it up and just say, look, I'm just going to carry on a full-time career, there's so many things that you can take away from it, even if you dip your toe in the water and decide it's for you. So it's the entrepreneurial spirit that I think is really important, and it can lead you onto other stuff. You know, you might want to do property investment. There's just so many transferable skills that I think it's an awesome thing for people to do. I'm definitely going to like recommend my kids when they're grown up to do it when they're young. Like, have a go, right? You know, you're not going to lose a massive amount of money. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
And you also obtain a community.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good bunch of guys. You end up staying up for hours playing Among Us. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing in that game, but
you're doing very well, mate. You come across very suspicious straight away, no matter what. So let's have a quick catch up with the chat and see where we are. I mean, the chat's gone right the way down where I was. I'm here for the jokes, Jim. We've seen that one. We've gone through. Claire, who else have we got in here? Junie's in. Hi, Junie. How are you? Obviously, man like Tomo's in. Your guy, Untitled Resells, is in.
Yeah, he's a great lad.
Neil's in. Hello, Neil. How you doing, my friend? He's always in everyone's chat. He's a good guy. Always pops in through.
Neil's another hustler. Like, I mean, Neil's
is he part of the group, is he?
Yeah, and like knows a ridiculous amount about cameras. Has kind of got me into it a little bit, and I'll start making losses on cameras any day now.
The Glibble Throfters are spamming the chat again. There they are. The Glibble through. Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Zoe Patrick. Hello, Zoe. We've got Marlow's Independent in the chat. Hello, Marlow's. Thanks for dropping by, mate.
Sounds like a bloody lovely guy. I'd go and subscribe to him if I were.
Sounds like a channel definitely worth checking out. Link is in the description. Zoe Tea Cakes is through. Hello. Retro Space. Excuse me. Do you know what? I think that's a new name for me.
Yeah, so that's Scott. He's another founding member of the Hustler Tiers.
God, you're bringing them all in, aren't you?
Like big FBA seller as well. Just absolute legend of the game. Also runs a sweet like candy home delivery service, which is absolutely amazing. It's the reason why I look like this. Like, I only eat salads, but I just eat like Scott's candies. No, yeah, he's a really nice guy. Just great businessman.
Fruit salad, is it? The fruit salad bars. If I don't follow you, what's his name, Scott? If I don't follow you, Scott, I'll definitely check your channel out, and I'll head over there.
He dabbled in YouTube a little bit earlier in the year as well. I don't know if he's still doing.
So Bailey's in the chat as well. Hello. Oh, the chat jumped. Everyone says that. Open more Pokemon cards. Can afford to. Honestly, talking about learning from mistakes. Last night, I cracked open those pins, and off stream in a private stream on Discord, I definitely opened the Zard box. Mr. Sprouts in the house, aka Brussels. Love you, mate. Thank you. He's always in the chat, especially globals. Hope you don't get offended when we call you Brussels. Rob's in. Hello, mate.
Evening, Rob.
We've got a lot of people in there. Someone's mentioned what's your best sale, Jim. We've just answered that. It was a lung or a heart or a kidney.
Yeah, I think I've had two. I've had two sales of about 500 quid. They were annoyingly close because I wanted to, like, you know, when you've had one and you want to beat the other, and it came in. It was like within £5. I think I had like 445 and 450, and I was like, oh, come on, I should just make an offer.
I don't think I've ever sold anything that big. I think mine's like 250, maybe 280.
Yeah,
we've got a super chat. I have to address it. Kiss my stained glass. 24. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. That's really, really kind of you. Let's read. Ricky, cheers for the laughs. You crack me up, and I love how others rib you and you take it on the chin. It's because I've got a big enough chin to take it. Sorry, mate, I've got to say you're punching above your weight, mate. She keeps walking by. She's letting everybody know. She walks by and I was like, no, Rick's punching. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Kiss my stained glass. Drop me your proper name. I really do appreciate that. Thank you ever so much. It's really, really kind of you. Thank you. And I am punching. Just definitely above my weight. Sorry, Jim. What was you saying? I have to adjust the super chats, mate. They take priority over the guests.
I have no idea what I was saying, but I'll expect my half of that, 24 quid.
I'll send it over to you, mate. I'll send it over to you. Yeah, I think. Can you start coming in here now, please? Everybody's with me because I'm punching, apparently.
Hello.
I'm punching, apparently. I'm maybe punching, but she's shy, mate, of the camera.
Immediately going to pack a bag.
Yes.
Mum, I'm coming home. I don't care about that.
I'm coming home. So that's the chat addressed. Thank you very much again. I appreciate that. So I want to ask you a common myth about our field and our, the way the job that we're in, the sector, and the things we do. I want you to try and bust a common myth. So the things we hear about things like, I'd rather sell it on eBay, mate. It's cheaper on eBay, or
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It must be a common myth that you hear.
Every time. I think the common myth, particularly among younger people, young ambitious resellers, I think have grown up watching The Apprentice, Wolf of Wall Street, like Wall Street the film, is that you have to be aggressively difficult. You have to be a nasty guy to succeed in business. And my experience, both professionally and as a reseller, is that that's absolutely not the case. And I think if I could impart any advice on anyone as a reseller, it's to be as honest, genuine, and personable as you can. Because for me, I think any business, but particularly reselling, is about developing human connections with people.
For sure.
But both as a buyer and a seller. And I think it's easy to deviate from that because you want a deal, you want to strike a deal at a car boot sale, you want to make more money. But for me, actually, the reselling is about a long-term game, and it's about developing relationships that are going to benefit you in the long run. And if you're people want to do business with nice people. Is my experience. They want to do business with nice people. If you go to a car boot sale and you're aggressive to people at a car boot sale when you're trying to buy things from them, and I see it everywhere I go at car boot sales, it drives me nuts. And I think, well done. You've made a deal. You're going to make a few quid on whatever item you've bought aggressively. You've been difficult to that person, but they're never going to want to sell to you again. And worse than that, they probably don't want to come to a car boot sale again. They're probably going to put the stuff away, and all of a sudden they're our direct competition. Whereas actually, here's something I'd love to ask you. Have you ever done this at a car boot sale? Have you ever paid someone more than they asked for an item? Because
Pokemon cards in general, it was actually a couple of packs of energy cards I paid more on. That wanted 50p, but I gave them £1. But we won't talk any more about that. We'll leave that one there for a minute. But yes, I definitely have.
I think there's nothing wrong with it. And so what you'll notice on a few videos that I've made on YouTube is that I never put the sound on when I'm at car boots, because I know I've seen comments where people are like, you should be haggling more aggressively. I see it every time. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're doing. This is about when you go to a car boot sale, you want to be giving the people that are selling the car boot sale the absolute best experience they can, because if you do, they're going to come back next summer when they've got the next generation of consoles or whatever to get rid of. But I see so many people, and I don't want to sully games traders, but I find it's generally people who want gaming stuff, rocking up to people. They're in the boot. Have you got any games? I'm like, oh, man. And I'm just thinking that person is never going to want to come to a car boot again. I wouldn't if I was that seller. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to go, next time I just sell it on eBay. I couldn't be bothered, but I will do it. And all of a sudden, they're your direct competition.
The COVID measures might actually put a stop to that. It would get people out of the routine of doing it. And then when it comes back into play, people are still not going to want you in their space. A lot of people are still going to say, look, do you know what? Yes, the government may say COVID's gone, but I want you out of my face and get out. It might take a little bit of that away, which would be good. Bring a bit of manners back.
It really it's probably the thing that bugs me more than anything. And I just think it's such a negative game for people that they're so misunderstanding what this business is about. They're living deal to deal rather than the amount of times I've paid someone more than they asked for. They've said, I've got an old camcorder, give me a fiver for it. And I've said, like, I'll give you 20 quid for it. I'm going to sell it for 150 quid.
Yeah.
And then they've said, those are always the situations where they say, I've got like 4 of these at home. And I'm like, okay, give me your number. And those kind of deals, a lot of my deals come from that. I say, you know, give me a text next time you've yeah, give me a text next time you're at the car boot, and we'll strike a deal, or let me know where you live. You know, I'll come to your house. I'll give you a fair price for them. And I think those human connections are what make you money, and that's where I get most of my deals from, is people that I've bought from once. They know I'm a good guy to deal with, and they want to deal with me again, because I know that if I go to someone and go, oh, what have you got? Like, I'm going to rifle through your car. They're not going to want to deal with me again. They're going to see me come in and just tell me it's 50 quid or whatever, you know?
I think it's a lot easier. Well, it depends what your nature is, I suppose. But personally, I find it a lot easier just to be polite and open with this simple stuff. How you doing? You okay? Have a look at the stall. How much is this, please? Oh, lovely. Would you take X amount if you're trying to knock a bit off? Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or have you got any gents clothes? Have you got any of this coming out at all, please? No, I'll pop back later, whatever. It's so easy. Well, you've got any games? Can you get Xbox Gold? LED?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to overpay. I'm not saying you have to do yourself out of profit. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I think those are quite extreme examples I'm using. But simple things. What I try and do is identify people that look like non-trader sellers, and I always say hello at a car boot sale. Good morning. Right. You know, horrible weather, whatever it is. Bit of banter. Just give them a good experience. Make them think I'm going to come back here next year, rather than I'm actually going to bother about learning how to do eBay and sell it on eBay. That's, you know, you can milk a cow every day of the year. You can only kill it for beef once, right? That's my whole philosophy. It's
we're hitting the mantras here already. Oh my God, we're 36 minutes in, and we're going to be giving the philosophy.
But yeah, I mean, that's the way I operate, and I see a lot of people who don't operate that way, and I think there's a lot of resellers out there that think, if I don't act that way, other people are going to beat me to this pile of Wii games. Who cares, right? Because you will not win in the long run. You will not win in the long run.
It's very interesting that you attend a car boot sale because you are also a customer. As you're a customer of the car boot sale, you're a customer of the seller. And your mindset is to make it an enjoyable scenario for the seller.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hope everybody's watching this. We have got some shoes to fill, because that is a different perspective. I mean, general politeness is one thing. I'm polite to people no matter what. I'm assuming you're polite to people. I'm sure everyone's polite to people no matter what. But actually having in your forefront of the mind, I must make this a good experience for the seller so they come back. That's a whole new matrix game.
Yeah, you know, I think it's long-term benefit. You know, you've got to think about, are they going to want to come back and do this next year? Most people are clearing out once a year, but their kids they're selling their PS3 games. Next year, they're going to be selling their PS4 games, right? So I want a piece of them. But are they going to do it, or are they going to go, I had such a horrible time that morning because people were driving my car, I'm just going to stick them on eBay. So it is difficult, and I think COVID makes it difficult because everyone's a bit more standoffish. So yeah, you just have to put it out there. It
definitely does, doesn't it? And I think it's all about car boot etiquette. Now, I know car boots generally has a bad etiquette no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of trying to establish that good car boot etiquette. And as long as you're doing that and you feel happy, if you're one of these people that do naturally become across quite miserable and grumpy, but then when you get to know them, they're a lovely, warm, kind guy or girl, that's just how it's going to be for you. If that makes sense. If it's easier for you just to go, good morning, have you got any games? Cheers.
Well, I find, and for anyone like in the chat who's like thinking, actually, like this makes some sense, that actually you're in a really strong position at the moment, because if you go to a car boot and 9 out of 10 people that are at the front of the queue or that get there early are resellers who are these like dodgy, dive in the back of the car types, aggressive, just want to do business, don't want any pleasantries. If you've got any games, you've got any jewelry, like we all know the types, right? If you're the one person that rocks up to that seller and says, good morning, like, you know, how are you? Like, what have you got for sale? You know, like I buy this kind of stuff. Have you got any of it? You know, let me know. I'll give you fair prices on it. actually you stand out so much more. Now is the good time to establish yourself as the nice buyer, because everyone else out there, I find, are horrible. And you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to kiss their feet when you rock up to them, but most people who go to a car boot sale are so, I think,
it's early in the morning as well though, Jim, isn't it?
It is, but I rock a hangover normally on a Sunday morning better than most, and if I can manage it, so can you. I think it's. I'm not saying you need to do anything special, but just think about just a few pleasantries, differentiate yourself from the other people that rock up, and it's not just in car boot sales. You can do the same thing on Spock, on Facebook, whatever. However you do your deals, just don't be the one that sends that Facebook. Is it still available? What's that message that you send out? Because when you put Facebook's the worst, right? Because if you're not there in the first minute, you're already 2 minutes late, right? But if you're one of those million gaming buyers that just hammers that button, if you take 5 seconds to write out, "Hi, I've just seen this," and they've just got a million messages about their Pokemon games they're selling.
Stand out.
Exactly. Just give them a reason to stand out. And again, people want to do business with good people. I find generally, it's not about just the money. I think most people would rather give it to someone that they can connect with. And I think if you take 2 seconds of your life to connect with someone, you're likely to have a long-term gain out of it.
Well, that's true. And if you are going back to car boots, if you're being polite or wherever you are, Facebook pickups, and you're nice, polite, and friendly, next time round, they're probably more willing to give you contact details, personal details, to stay in touch again than the guy that's like, "We got." Person that asks how your day's been, how's things, are you okay? Do you have this for sale, please? Thank you. You'd be more willing to go, if they ask you, I've got this. Do you know what? Here's my Facebook or here's my phone number. I've got this at home. I've got this at home. We'll sort something out. So it can lead to longer term gain for your business.
Yeah, I agree. Now, look, I'm just I don't know if you can highlight. There's a guy called Paul in the chat. Look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not saying what I say is gospel whatsoever. Yeah, but in my opinion, if you don't give people a positive experience, you risk them. You've got to think, why do people go to a car boot sale rather than putting it on eBay or Facebook or wherever? To me, most people go to a car boot sale because they can't be bothered to put it on eBay. And if they go, and it's not an easy experience being a seller at a car boot sale. You have to get up super early. Imagine you go to a car boot sale and sell once, and tell me you don't come away from that thinking, "I'm going to put this stuff on eBay. It's not worth the hassle." And if that's what you're thinking, think about what you're doing to every other seller. And if one seller thinks, "I'm going to put this stuff on eBay," all of a sudden they're your competition. You don't want them to be your competition. You want them to be your supply chain. And it's just basic things. I'm not saying it'll work 99% of the time. I'm giving extreme examples about overpaying and the like, but
you're making a point. It's a valid point.
Hello, right? And just being fair with people and being kind goes a long way. And I think you will make connections that will benefit you in the long run if you're like that. I can tell you from real experience, all of my connections have just become from being a nice guy. So I'm not saying try it, Paul. Right? If you don't believe me, give it a week and go to a few car boots when they start up and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, fine. If you want to be the I'm not saying you're rude or obnoxious, but if you want to be the same old guy, that's cool with me, because if I'm the guy who comes in after and is nice to everyone, I want people to notice me as a good guy and want to do business with me, basically. But each to their own, right? It's not. I'm not saying.
Yeah, of course. No, Paul's been doing this 20 years by the looks of it, and he's obviously still going strong. So whatever you're doing, Paul, it's working for you, my friend, and me and Jim are happy for you, mate.
Hey, look, if you make 1 penny more, if you sell something for 1 penny more than you buy it for, you're a winner, absolute winner.
Lee, I'm going to catch up with the chat quickly. Lee's in, basically, don't be a schlong. Another thing I need to work on. Lee, you do not come across as a phallus or any other kind of dangling instrument. Honestly, your videos are cracking. Lee's my 1K buddy, along with a reseller kid. I saw him in the chat a minute ago. I'm sure I did, but I'll say hello to you as well, just in case you're out here, Peter. Lee, don't be silly, mate. You definitely come across as a schlong. There he is. Bush. Who else we got in here? We're all through. Everybody the same. We've got any new faces in here? Pretty much the same old troops, which is fantastic. Also been doing this 20 years, part-time. So this is the thing. Do you become full-time after a year? Or do you spend 19 years doing part-time and then go full-time? By the way, you will occasionally see a knee. All right, I am in a Zoom outfit.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'll just throw the chat because I'm being weird. We've got
Ricky means full nude underneath the shirt. He literally makes a point out of only wearing that shirt to his live streams.
It may look like this shirt. I've got a plethora of these kind of shirts.
Yeah. Can you just highlight Neil's comment
where is he?
Because I would love to know the deal Neil struck to take home that prize.
I was so nice at a boot sale last year. The guy let me take his wife home.
Yeah. How did the haggle go for that? That's what
Neil. I mean, have you sold her? Have you profited? Could you go into the algorithm? Seen a lot about people keeping up with it. I'm going to save that for another one. Kirisuit 62. Kirisuit. Save it for another one because we could be here for all night. We've got 15 minutes to go, and that is a long subject to the eBay algorithm. But I promise you, we will go into it on the next one. I've got the perfect guest for that. I'm going to reach out after this stream, find out if they want to come on. So
Ricky's very kind way of saying Jim doesn't know. We'll talk to someone else.
What, Jim? We can start again. We can carry on to 11. There we go. Focus on the house. Lee's in. All right, Lee. Let's go through. So I want to know what would be. We're gonna get down to some less serious questions. Now we're gonna sort of taper them off to less serious, and then just we're gonna ask you the finale question. What would, in your opinion, what would be the worst buy one get one free sale of all time? Ever?
Any woman's clothes.
And think out of it.
Anything with women's clothes in it. Oh my god! I steer away from clothes anyway. When I first started, all I was buying was Levi jeans because I was like, I saw Joe buying them, and I was like, I can do that. So I was buying all this cheap Levi's, and then it was always men's Levi's. I bought a 10 bundle, I think 10 or 8 bundle of women's Levi's jeans, listed them, and every one of them came back. I'd never had a return before, and women's clothes.
Was it to do with sizes?
Yeah, it was size.
They shrink, don't they, over time? You have to really measure them all up and stuff. And
it was, and I mean, it was my fault. I was doing it lazy. I basically listed their size and didn't do the whole measure, and they all came back, or there was like a tiny little mark or something. Nothing against. Look, there's some people out there smashing it with clothes, but there's so much work involved in it, and I just think an electronic thing works or it doesn't.
Thanks, Lee. Smashing it through.
I'm happy to leave them. It means that I don't do a lot of stuff at charity shops, but it's just I don't know. I had such a bad experience with returns when I was doing clothes at the beginning that anything
like that can cut you off, can't they? They can make you go.
I'll probably start, but it's again if I've got the space and the time to do it. But it's just so much grief, and to do. I haven't got the mannequins to do.
Just model them yourself. Yeah. So Lee's Chipotle and lime chicken is done. Have to catch up, chaps. Great chat. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Lee. We appreciate you for coming in. And then he popped back in. He obviously heard you tickling about clothes and popped back in again and was like, so much money. Goes, okay, bye again.
Yeah, just a final nail in the coffin. You're wrong, but that's cool. Coming from a guy like Lee is ridiculous. That guy knows a few things about reselling. Let me tell you.
He does. I personally thought the worst buy one get one free deal ever would be a haircut.
Yeah, all right. I didn't come up with a comedy answer.
Never mind.
Straight out of a 2002 joke book. That one was it. I didn't. Let me just get mine out for the next question. Here we go.
Oh, the next question is, and I'm really hoping they're in the chat. If they're not, it doesn't look like they are. They're not going to be able to defend themselves. Are they in the chat? I don't think they are. I'll ask you one more before first. So, would you class cereal as a soup?
No.
Why?
Why would you?
It's a soup, isn't it?
No.
Cereal soup.
So firstly, it's cold, but don't head me off with any gazpacho nonsense. Don't want to hear it. It's just not.
So that's your answer. It's just not.
Yeah, no.
Right. Thanks for dragging that one out for me.
I mean, I've waffled on. I was like, I'm going to do one quickly.
And before we do start saying our goodbyes, they're not in the chat anymore. But the global thrifters always like to ask us resellers when we come on their stream, who's our favourite reseller in the world? I'm going to ask, who's your favourite out of Jack and Emily?
It's very difficult because I like
You
them
hate
both.
them both. Yeah, same.
It's I've got such a strong dislike for both of them, so it's kind of who's the best of the bad bunch.
I think what we'll do then, we'll just have to skip it over, won't we?
Yeah.
Just to let them off with it.
It's like being asked, would you rather be shot in the face or stabbed? You know, it's. I mean, they're great guys. Absolutely.
Love Jack and Emily. Jack gives as good as he gets, and so does Emily. The cracking pair. Another channel we should check out if for some reason you haven't. Where can everybody who's watching? Links are going to be in the description. As we start tapering through, where can the listeners and the viewers find you?
So Instagram, my shop, my YouTube, and my Instagram are all Marlow's Independent Trading Co.
I'm going to put your Instagram up actually in the chat quickly. You carry on.
Yeah, they're all hyphenated. Marlow's Independent Trading Co. Link for my YouTube is in my Instagram bio. I'm trying to upload at least a video a week to YouTube, and Instagram. I'm averaging like 2 or 3 posts a day. I would say, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but we're just full trumpet blown here. I think I genuinely have one of the most active and engaging Instagram of any reseller.
That's where I found you first on Instagram. You do have a very engaging, a very, very good Instagram account. So the link is in the chat, everybody, for his Instagram. Head over, give it a quick little follow. You do. You're not blowing your own trumpet, Jim.
Oh, I appreciate it.
No, you really do.
I don't like to brag. I'm pretty new to the game. I don't want to. I'm still crawling, right? When you've got crushers out there in the chat that are way more experienced than me. Yeah, I'm just a nobody really. Don't have to listen. If you've sat here and listened through and think I'm an idiot, that's fine.
This is Jim's channel. Jim, is it? Let me have a look on the chat. I can't see both screens. Is it sharing? There we go. So this is Jim's channel. Very clean, very concise. He always updates sales. You've got £8 sale there. It's not just giving you the big hitters. Which I believe that is
a big hitter for me.
No, it's not a big hitter for you. No, you've got a nice £120 here. Just look how clean and concise it is. And Jim, this is honestly where I first found out about you was Instagram. You popped up somewhere. I don't think you was actually on YouTube yet when I found your channel. There we go. Look at this for merch. Cracking kit.
No, they're not out to the public, mate. That's one of a kind. One of a kind. So yeah, I mean, my Instagram's cool. Another good thing for anyone who's not following me on Instagram is I've got about 800 and something followers or whatever it is on Instagram. When I get to 1,000, I'm going to give away a full lighting rig that I use to do my lighting. So the tripods, the LED lights, stands. So it's about 100, 120 quid's worth. So if you're a reseller who doesn't have like a proper light setup, I'm all about giving back. I gave away a Charizard like a couple of weeks ago. So
when's that competition then?
It's the lighting competition is when I hit 1,000 followers. I'll be doing it. As soon as I hit 1,000, I'll probably do like everyone has to follow me and sub and comment on a photo that I do. So as soon as I hit that mark, I'll do it the next day.
Yes, that sounds pretty sweet. So Gemily was here. They've been listing while we were listening. So they definitely heard us because cheeky.
I'd hate to think those insults were wasted. It's good to know.
Do you know what I mean? I just think we needed to save them the pain. They just brushed past it.
Yeah. I've got someone asking about my OnlyFans. That's
can you drop us a link in the OnlyFans?
You can find that in the bio of my Instagram. That is that's a different Instagram. I've got a channel which is Fat Ginger Blokes. It's quite a niche market. I'll be new to it. Yeah.
Perfect.
There's something for everyone.
I have had a snippet of the OnlyFans sent to me last night, and I believe the message said, "Make sure you show this on your stream."
I'm going to be honest. I sent that to a few other people as well for excitement.
No, I'm only joking. I'm back. I can't. That's bang out of order, Jim.
I don't mind. So you'll find worse of me on the internet. I can appreciate it. I've made a knob out of myself.
Honestly, I felt like we was run through them. Junior's giving you a good follow. Mike Dando's in. Hello, matey. Good guy he is. Right, you've got another follow from Junie. Let's have a. I'm sure. Let me have a follow check. It was on 107, weren't we? We said we want 120. 121.
How
We will
done.
take that, Jim.
I
We
mean,
will take that.
that's unreal. I mean, one follower was more than I thought. I only
Listen.
started up YouTube thinking I'll watch these back and laugh at myself in a few years or whatever. So the fact that any idiot wants to spend their time watching me talk at the camera,
Isn't it? It is
yeah.
absolutely fascinating. You're just doing your thing, but you're definitely well worth a watch, mate. And I'm glad we can get you to that little milestone. The rest of us sets up to you now.
Yeah.
You did well.
Ricky, so everyone in the chat, Ricky's only doing this because he said I'll be at 1,000 in 3 months, and he's starting to worry.
I'm starting to panic.
I'm going to call him out in 2 months' time. I've got the date in my diary.
How long have I got left? 2.5? No, 2 months. 2 months, 1 week.
I'm going to send you the date in the calendar. I've got like a calendar downstairs, like big like X's over the days every day. Thinking he's.
Well, listen, you've broken your stride now. You will be great on other people's channels, especially. I'm not going to name any channels because I want them to ask you organically. But there's definitely a few people that I know you would suit well on their channels, and it's all about getting out there. People know who you are. You can't build a channel if nobody knows who you are. Jim, you've got to get out there, mate. Jim, can't believe you didn't pick me over I'm subbing. Well,
it's fine.
You win some, you lose some. It's like dead weight in it, Jim.
Well, yeah, I thought I had you guys blocked already, but I mean,
you obviously let them slip. I think it's because you're on my stream, you can see them.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got 100 odd, when you've got as many as 100 subs, it's difficult to keep up, isn't it?
121 actually now, Jim.
Yeah, no, but it's great, and I really appreciate it.
126 now, Jim.
I'm happy to chat. Like I as you've heard from my long waffling 30-minute answers about going to a car boot, my background is like business and corporate and stuff, and I think I've got a good business head on my mind. So I think I think I've got a good idea of what I'm doing. I don't have a lot of experience in the reselling side, but I do think I've got some good advice for people. And yeah, if you're a beginner reseller, I would recommend watching my videos.
You are on 126 now, Jim.
That's it's madness. I'm genuinely humbled. I know I keep saying it, but really am humbled by everyone.
No, you deserve it, mate.
Yeah.
Hi, Ricky. Just want to say I love your show. Give me a shout out. I'm Ozzy from Edinburgh. Ozzy, how you doing, my friend? Welcome anytime. Thank you for watching. And I'm glad you enjoy the show, mate. Honestly, it's the same as Jim. It fascinates me that there's people here that sub to watch what you do. Obviously, I'm putting content out. We're all putting content out. I want people to watch. But when you get such a nice response, it's like
it's
yeah. So, Ozzy, thank you very much, mate. Big shout out to you, my friend.
Yeah, no, I'm shocked every time. Every time I get a notification like someone subbed, I'm like, what? I just want to text back like, "Are you sure? Like, what are you doing? You know that it's me walking about in a field and showing you like broken VCRs. Like, what? You must have something better to do on a Saturday night. It's 8 o'clock or whatever time it is on a Saturday night. What are you guys doing with your lives? Generally,
it's honestly fascinating.
But I'm not having to go at you, chat. It's lovely to have you all here. But equally, I was expecting there'd just be like, tumbleweeds going across the chat because it's just going to be me and Ricky talking. But
listen, it is just me and you talking. The chat are here, keeping the show alive. If it wasn't for the chat, these would just be Skype calls, and I could Skype you any day, Jim. All right? So we've got some more people talking in the chat at the minute. Obviously, Fraser's got through. Everyone's off. Drink tea. See you later, mate. We're closing down in a minute too, mate. We'll definitely keep the faith. 2 things we got to do: hit the thumbs up, go sub to Jim. Definitely give Jim a sub, man. Look, we said 120. We've got him over that. Very happy. I can go to bed tonight with a semi.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one already. It's just been.
It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Damn it.
Yeah.
All reason getting to learn off new stuff while enjoying it. Yeah, it's a great thing. Yeah, definitely, Bailey. We're back. Well, I think we're going to taper this off now, Jim, mate. Firstly, you have been a fantastic first guest on this segment that I'm trying to create now. I don't know how it's going to go, how it's going to pan out, but you've been fantastic, mate. Really do appreciate you coming on. Your time is very, very, very valuable, I'm sure, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, no, the honour's been all mine. Anytime you want to chat, I'm always here. If you just want to text me in the middle of the night, if you just want someone to whisper sweet nothings in your ear, whatever it is, want some intimate photos, I've got a huge catalogue. So just get in touch, whatever you want.
Your catalogue's getting slimmer and slimmer, mate, because you keep sending them all to me.
That is true. That is true. There's only
thank you, Global. I appreciate it. Yeah, Jim's a fantastic guest. I could have had better. Could have had you on Global, couldn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Honestly, I think I made the perfect. I think Jim graced me with his acceptance, so I'm very happy. Jim, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it. I was kind of hoping Global would be asleep when we did this, but never mind. Anybody, don't forget Jim's links are in the description. I'm losing my. Jim's links are in the description below. His YouTube's in there. His Instagram, you better find it on there anyway. I did put it in the comment section. It's in there. Go click on it. Give him a sub. Give him a follow. Give him a kiss in his inbox. Apparently, Jim really, really likes late night random messages on his inbox on Instagram. So he really loves that.
Pictorial, if possible, or just a voice message of heavy breathing always helps. It only needs to be 2 to 3 seconds. That's all it takes. Yeah. But any little helps.
That's all he needs.
Yeah, but genuinely, we've been rambling, so I might have missed some questions in the chat that have all been really lovely.
Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Listen, you can't get them all.
But feel free to reach out to me on your Instagram if you've got any questions about what I do or what I've done, and I respond to everyone.
Ozzy, shout out to your wife, my friend. You didn't, Shelley, shout out to you. Keep an eye on Ozzy, mate. I can tell he's a handful. Thank you for popping in again. Listen, everybody, you have been fantastic. We've been ourselves. Jim's been himself. John, Luke. I miss John. John's not been in the chat tonight. I'm going to give him a spanking. Links in the description. Thank you ever so much for coming in. We're going to end the stream now. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat as well. Fantastic. My first super chat. That's fun. That's brilliant. Mind blowing. Keep doing yourselves. Jim, thank you for coming on, my friend. We'll have a quick, don't go anywhere. I'll keep you behind after this in the great stream. All right. Thank you ever so much.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Goodbye.